You know what time it is. It's time to get sauced up with another reaction, and this just came by my desk. About 8 minutes ago, your boy Will Smith issued an apology on Instagram. And that is what's to my right or my left or however it looks like on screen. Now, I know a lot of you guys saw my reaction to what happened yesterday with the slap. If you guys haven't checked that reaction out, link is up here. Check that out. However, I know a lot of people wanted to get my thoughts on his apology kind of during his speech. I didn't really do a reaction to the speech, but here's my take on an apology. I think an apology is fine. I think actions that are taken are important. Also, I'm not in the camp of a lot of people that kind of get in this idea of the right way to apologize, because everybody's going to have their perspective on what's the right way, right? Some people are like, oh, you should have did it here, or this should have been said like this, or you should have done this. You're not going to please everybody with an apology, right? Like, I know a lot of people will say, oh, all you had to do was apologize, but that's just not true, right? People are going to be upset about how you apologize, when you apologize, what you were wearing when you apologize. Did you do it on screen? Did you do it on camera? Did you do it it's always, so I'm just going to go off of what he's saying at the moment. So let's read it. I haven't read this yet. It literally just came across my desk. So here we go. Violence in all forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. And his caption is essentially a copy of what he posted here in the photos. Now, obviously, for obvious reasons, the comments on this post are disabled. That was always going to happen regardless of how and what he was going to say next. I think whoever is his publicist knows exactly how to handle said scenario. Now, as far as what he's saying, I think, I'm an actions person, right? There hasn't really been any actions up to this point to me that show that he's some kind of violent individual, right? Or some malicious individual. So I can take what he's saying a little bit more seriously. The whole thing was kind of messy, right? The idea of the joke to me wasn't really a big issue, considering that I would assume Chris didn't know that she had alopecia, right? And comedians say jokes. That's what they do, right? So I'm pretty sure there's plenty of times that comedians say a joke about somebody in the audience, whether they're a celebrity or not, and it's not directed towards them, but they may feel some kind of way. Or if it is directed towards them, like a roasting scenario, they're going to feel some kind of way, but never did you think like, hey, let's go on stage and put hands on somebody. So I think in that regard, obviously that whole scenario was kind of really messy. But people were embarrassed in one way, shape, or form live on TV, right? Whether it be Jada feeling embarrassed about that being brought up, whether it be Chris feeling embarrassed being smacked in front of everybody, which if you guys are unfamiliar at least in black communities, like being spit on, being called like a bitch, and being slapped those are like high levels of disrespect, right? So smacking him on stage is crazy. Like that concept is crazy to me. So smacking him live on stage, and then so both of those things were public, like in a video live forum, right? So ultimately, I think the idea of apologizing in the same forum probably would have felt more sincere to others. And so I definitely can see if people see this like, oh, he should have did it live. I don't see that being a stretch for some. You know what I'm saying? I can understand people feeling some kind of way about it. I'm glad that he took ownership of this though, regardless of when he took ownership of it. I think if he was emotional the way that he was by going up there to put hands on Chris in the first place, he probably wasn't in his right mind of even trying to formulate a sincere apology in the moment. You could tell even by his speech, like he was trying to put words together and trying to make sense of what he did. It seemed like he was trying to justify the reasoning for it. Regardless of the fact, it still looked ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like maybe this was the best place for him to actually get his point across. However, I think that's going to be something that unfortunately is going to be left up to public opinion. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not in the camp of trying to decide what's the best way of doing something. I don't spend time really on stuff like that. Like I could care less about my opinion on how somebody should apologize and what they should say. And like, I wasn't in the scenario, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a person on the outside viewing it and was completely shocked by the whole scenario. Like it's a crazy scenario to think about. But in this, what do you guys feel about the apology? Do you guys feel that this was a good way of doing it? Not a good way of doing it? Do you believe him? Do you not believe him? And again, the only reason I say that to what he's saying I can actually digest is his previous actions up to this point. He's never done anything like this. So either there's something else going on behind closed doors in that family that we just aren't really privy to, or his personal mental state or whatever that just made him go to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point in time, like he's never done anything like this, you know, in a public forum like that. So it's really interesting to see like what happened. What was the catalyst that has built up to this point? So with that, I can at least take these words a little bit more seriously than somebody that has had a track record of them doing just crazy shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder your guys' thoughts on this. I know there is also this thing going around about him getting his Oscar revoked, or people are like, oh, he should get his Oscar revoked. I think the Oscar was already voted for prior to that, and the Oscar is based on your talent in said project, not if your actions outside of the movie are, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not taken into effect, like into account. So I don't think that should be a thing. I think what he did was stupid. Like I think it was still stupid, but I think the award is for the role that he played in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily his action outside of said movie. And that action took place after the votes were already cast. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this in particular. How do you feel? Are you cool with his response? You're not cool with his response? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. You guys have been extremely vocal in my comment section about it. Really interesting. If you guys want me to cover more like current events along with obviously the anime stuff that I cover here on the channel, or, you know, comment, try not to laugh, stuff like that, let me know as well if you guys want me to do more like current event stuff also, because it seems like you guys are enjoying it. But other than that, man, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Geek Gang, we got the stack.